Hey, that's what I wore today. Oh my God, that's me.
Well, they broke out the fat montage on the news, so trying to figure out why. Hey, Bill O'Reilly.
Oh.
Bill O'Reilly. What a tool.
He really is a tool.
He really is. He's
a pompous ass. I'll start there.
Exactly. He's a jerk off.
Yeah, he absolutely is.
And to me, the word racist is thrown around too much. But when you hear like a guy like this, a pompous ass like this talking, that's the way a racist thinks. It's always subtle.
Yep.
No, I'm just trying to explain things. It's like
you know what? When black leaders come out against hate speech, when it's comedy, when it's a comedy show, and you're making people laugh, you're talking about stereotypes, things like that. That's the people they attack. And say it's hateful and hate speech. What Bill O'Reilly said was far worse than anything that's ever been done on a comedy show.
Because he meant it.
Because he meant it. Absolutely. He meant it. This shows an ignorance and an ignorance coupled with this pompous superiority complex that he has. It's amazing that he's getting away with saying this.
It's just white elitism, and I think he should be able to say it, and he should be able to be the pompous, biased ass. Good, be that way, but then just don't complain when people do things to be funny. And that's the only annoying thing is that it's not consistent.
Here's the headline. O'Reilly surprised there was no difference between Harlem Restaurant and other New York restaurants.
It's the first time he ventured up there?
I guess. Listen to this. From his own show.
I think black Americans are starting to think more and more for themselves. And they're getting away from the Sharptons and the Jacksons and the people trying to lead them into a race.
Are they
starting to? They've been thinking for themselves for many years.
But what's he talking about? First of all, guys like Sharpton and Jesse Jackson are so famous because of guys like you and other media people because they give you great sound bites and they say awful, idiotic things. But most I've never, and I'm 39, I've never talked to black people who said Sharpton was great.
And Sharpton is like a leader for me. I look up to him. And they don't think like that. When you see black people rallying around Al Sharpton, it's because they belong to the same, whatever he belongs to, that action network.
Which is much bigger than Al Sharpton.
Yeah.
He's just a part of that.
And it's bust-in people.
Like I think
sometimes they're paid for their appearances in these protests.
I think a lot of the people that are part of that organization, they would like a new leader, a new guy.
Please.
Black people are starting to think for themselves. When you think
what year is this?
Great.
White elitism, that's what it is. And it's not done angrily or aggressively, but that's exactly what it is.
Starting to. I would say they started thinking for themselves, way
72.
way before 2007, you ass.
I don't know. Maybe when slavery was happening, people were thinking for themselves because nobody was going, slavery, this is fantastic.
Yeah, right around then, I think that most people would say right around then.
I think maybe when they were being rounded up, they're thinking for themselves and thinking, this sucks.
You're right, exactly.
Like that probably is thinking for yourself.
Well, we could argue what the actual date is, but I think we'd all agree that it was way before the year 2007.
Way before Bill O'Reilly made his pilgrimage to Harlem.
Right.
Just the fact, the pompous, the fact that he thinks for himself and he's a brilliant free thinker.
Yes.
And hey, isn't it nice? Isn't it nice that the little children are starting to think like that?
Yeah, they're starting.
Nice?
Maybe someday they'll attain the ability to think for themselves like I do.
And he's amazed that they sat at the big table with him, which was him going to the Harlem restaurant.
Yeah.
Look at the little kid sat at the big table and behaved like I couldn't get over it.
It's amazing.
It gets better.
This is what white America doesn't know.
What happened? What happened there?
I think black Americans are starting to think more and more for themselves. And they're getting away from the Sharptons and the Jacksons and the people trying to lead them into a race-based culture. Trying to figure it out. Look, I can make it. If I work hard, get educated, I can make it. I was up in
starting to
Harlem.
figure that out.
Really? So now they're just starting to see the value of education. That's cool, Bill.
I guess blacks just started going to college.
Yeah, just started.
They just started, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Wow,
right, Bill?
Dope. He really is the first one to attack other people, and just a dope.
This should be more offensive as being racist than anything any radio personality has ever said in jest. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
In Harlem a few weeks ago, and I actually had dinner with Al Sharpton, who is a very, very interesting guy.
Who foot the bill for that one? Jesus.
Oh, Bill did.
Oh, Bill, he has to tell
Wow.
He'll tell you.
He'll tell you. Because he is the biggest ass.
I'll have some more chitlins. I want some of them hominy grits. Keep bringing them. Bill O'Reilly's paying. I don't even need to pay. Keep it coming. Hey, everybody. It's all on Bill O'Reilly.
Hey, Reverend Al, I noticed you brought your own plate.
I brought my own plate. It's my big old medallion I used to wear. My hubcap medallion.
I just turn it over.
Load it up. Just load it up with food. More pig knuckles and hominy grits. And Sylvia, give me a takeout bag. I'm taking some home with me. Bill O'Reilly's paying. This is part of my reparations. I'm going off the diet for a while.
Why?
Because Bill's paying.
There you go. You know,
I'm thinking for myself. I'm thinking I'm going to have seconds. And thirds.
you know when you pay for someone's meal,
Yeah.
you shouldn't tell everybody that you paid for someone's meal.
Don't bring it up.
You just kind of do it. You just kind of
Paid for them.
You kind of sneak your credit card over to the waitress or the waiter,
Yeah.
get it done, and that's it. You don't
I
go- you
paid
don't-
cash because I'm not stupid.
We haven't even
I didn't
played-
want someone stealing my credit card number. I'm sure he did.
We haven't even played the line where he has to tell everybody that he
Oh,
paid.
of course.
Here it is.
Very interesting guy, and he comes on a Factor a lot, and then I treated him to dinner because he's made himself available to us, and I felt that I wanted to take him up there, and we went to Sylvia's.
How about you just treat him to dinner?
I treated him. Why?
Not only did he have to tell everyone he treated
Yeah.
him to dinner, he had to explain why he treated him to dinner.
How did he
him to
invite
dinner.
him? Did he call up and go, hey, boy, are you hungry?
What do you want?
What an ass.
Would you like to go to that Negro place uptown?
And for a guy who's such a creep that Sharpton is, and he is a creep, why are you sitting there having dinner with him?
Yeah, why? Because it's show business. Both of these idiots are not in the news business or the civil rights business. They're in show business. Their purpose is to get on television and become a celebrity and then market that so you can wear nice suits and don't
hold on.
lie.
And if you don't believe that, go to Bill O'Reilly's website.
Oh, my
he's
God.
now selling "Don't Tase Me, Bro" bumper stickers.
Is he?
It's bumper stickers. The other day I said it was T-shirts. Bumper stickers.
Bumper stickers.
They're in showbiz.
Not going to tase your car. Why wouldn't you make a T-shirt?
All right, here, more.
It's just silly.
This O'Reilly thing gets even better. Here we go.
Because he's made himself available to us, and I felt that I wanted to take him up there, and we went to Sylvia's, a very famous restaurant in Harlem. I had a great time. And all people...
He sounds uncomfortable just saying this, by the way.
Right.
He sounds uncomfortable just saying this.
And by the way, he took him up to Sylvia's, so he had something to talk about on his dumb show.
Yeah.
It wasn't just like, where you want to eat? I don't know. Let's go to Sylvia. It was planned ahead of time.
So we got out of the armored personnel carrier right in front of the place, and it was fantastic.
Some producer came to Bill O'Reilly and said, hey, I got a great idea, good angle here. Why don't you get Reverend Al and bring him to Sylvia's, and then you can talk about your experience on The Factor or your radio show.
Uh-huh.
That's how this all came about.
Is a very famous restaurant in Harlem.
You know what he sounds like? You said he sounds uncomfortable. Who ever said he sounds uncomfortable?
Yeah, he does.
He sounds like he's so afraid that he's going to say exactly what he really means.
Right.
Like he's so trying to sound a certain way.
He's trying to sound casual.
He's trying to sound casual and natural, like Sylvia's up there in Harlem.
Yeah.
Like just saying that he was in Harlem, he's uncomfortable. He wants to say, I was frightened. I know that place is horrible. I have this image and that's what he wants to say. But he's talking too fast.
And he doesn't want people to know that they're on to him.
Yeah.
That he actually did this almost like a publicity stunt.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
That's why he's so casual about it. Like, we went to, Sylvia's up there in Harlem.
Made himself available to us, and I felt that I wanted to take him up there, and we went to Sylvia's, a very famous restaurant in Harlem. I had a great time. And all people up there tremendously respectful. They all watched The Factor. When Sharpton and I walked in, it was like big commotion and everything, but everybody was very nice.
Was it?
And I couldn't get over the fact that there was no difference between Sylvia's restaurant and any other restaurant in New York City. I mean, it was exactly the same.
What is it supposed to be? What was he expecting?
I mean, I paid, and they put the money in the register. I thought they would eat it. What's the matter with you?
And by the way, Kevin from Connecticut brings up a great point. Opie, you guys did a photo shoot uptown, and you weren't bragging about it. You were terrified, as you should have been.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, we went up to Harlem.
I went up to Harlem and did a photo shoot, too. It was
Because this
great.
liberal douche that decided he needed to take our picture for an article that appeared in one of the Boston magazines, he was like, yeah, let's go uptown, man, and
Yeah.
find this old newsstand, man, that's all burnt out. It'll be great for you guys.
Yeah.
And we stepped out of our car that they were nice enough to get us for the day, and we were horrified.
Yep.
We were like, could we hurry up with this? Maybe you're comfortable in this atmosphere, but we're not.
I felt like quoting Boone from Animal House.
Right.
I think you guys should be leaving. What a good idea.
Yeah, exactly.
We are going to die.
And it wasn't. And this was so over the top. This neighborhood, most of the buildings in this particular block or 2-block area were completely burnt out.
Yeah,
there were just lunatics walking around.
Yeah, this wasn't Sylvia's with Reverend Al.
No, and they were like, and then there were people like getting closer and closer to us, going, "Wow, this is kind of an easy target." And this liberal douche taking our pictures, like, "All right, a few more." I'm like, "No, you got the shot. We're out of here." Not taking a chance on my life because you're so trustworthy in this area.
And Sylvia's is not exactly it's not exactly this excursion to the edge. It's a very famous restaurant, and they're not shocked when they see white people come in to eat.
Right.
They don't look like that. They're white people.
Oh, you think that's what Bill O'Reilly was getting at?
Well, he's thinking that it's like he took this trip to the dark side, and he went into this black place with black people. He was a white explorer and with black people.
Yeah.
They served him food. They were all black. I couldn't get over it.
Like he was taking a real chance with his life.
Buana went in with his elephant gun, like an adventurer.
Right. He had like the stupid explorer hat.
Yeah,
like
a pith helmet.
A pith helmet.
I went in with Al Sharpton. I was wearing a pith helmet.
I couldn't believe it was just like I expected. Grass skirts. They had on trousers, ladies and gentlemen.
What an adventure. My monocle fell out of my eye.
They're not surprised. They didn't look at your white skin and run around and point and talk in their native tongue.
Oh.
No one is surprised to see white people in Sylvia's. No one.
I was able to read the menus. It wasn't just some kind of symbols that meant clicking. The guy's amazed.
He expected the food to be killed right there, like a buffalo would run through the restaurant and somebody would spear it and they'd eat it right there without cooking it. What a dope! Just what a dope.
Here we go.
I mean, it was exactly the same. Even though it's run by blacks, primarily black patronship, it was the same. And
Well, yeah.
I really don't know what he was expecting. I know if you go to certain clubs at night, you're going to see different things. If you go to a black club than if you go to a white club, that's for sure. You might even get into some trouble, or you might have fun. I don't know. But when you go to Sylvia's, it's a famous restaurant in Harlem, and he's talking about it like he just went to Africa. He went to the motherland. And he's having some dinner on the Serengeti.
Translation: he's amazed that blacks can run a restaurant.
That they can run a restaurant all by themselves
and behave.
And he said, well, this is another telling line. When he gets out of the car, he goes, everybody was respectful. Yeah, well, why wouldn't they be? You're a celebrity. It's almost like people, when he said he went to Sylvia's, people were going to go, my God, Bill, they're all blacks. Did they throw rocks at you?
What did they do? Must have been horrible.
Did they try to push you and bite you? What happened? They're all blacks.
They accepted American currency, not trinkets. It was wonderful.
Yeah,
I was able to actually use. They knew that these were presidents. They knew they were leaders on these bills that I was giving them.
They were all respectful. Yeah, it's a fancy restaurant. It's a famous restaurant, you jackass.
I mean, it was exactly the same. Even though it's run by blacks, primarily black patronship, it was the same. And that's really what the society is all about now here in the USA.
Now.
There's no difference. There's no difference. There may be a cultural entertainment. People may gravitate toward different cultural entertainment, but you go down to Little Italy and you're going to have that. And nothing to do with the
is he trying
color of anybody's skin.
Now, is he trying to say that you could go to Little Italy and get that kind of treatment and civilized?
He's basically saying the Italians behave, too.
Is that it? Yeah, behavior?
Yeah.
The blacks and the Italians have finally come around. Wow, that Bill, he really has his finger on the pulse.
Well, I'm sure there might be somebody that stepped out of Sparks Steakhouse one day that might have a different opinion of that. What about Vitello's? How about Carmine's?
Oh, Vitello's, where you can get the Bonnie Lee Blakely.
Exactly. Umberto's Clam House. How about that one?
Civilized behavior, where you can have the Joe Gallo special.
De Bruno. Another fine establishment that perhaps some shenanigans went on in.
It's as pleasant as all the Italian restaurants, including the Palace Chop House. Just ask Dutch Schultz where he was murdered there. Bad example, Bill.
By chop, they don't necessarily mean the meat either. Go around back, you'll find the real meaning of the word chop house.
Bill continues.
This is what white America doesn't know.
Oh, enlighten us. Enlighten us, Bill. What do we not know that you are so knowledgeable of as far as black people go?
Wow, maybe. What?
White America doesn't know it. What are you talking about, stupid? We're not surprised that, do you know blacks run a restaurant? They actually lock the doors at night and they open them in the morning. We know that. He's saying things like that he didn't know.
Yeah, this is exactly. He didn't know this.
White America knows it, you dope. It's not surprising.
They have to feed themselves, and they do it like we do in restaurants. It's amazing what these can do. I'm stunned.
I can say, here's when you should be surprised at black people. If you go to see the Van Halen reunion tour, and it's 70% black in the city, you can go, that is surprising.
I'm very surprised at that.
Who saw that?
White America didn't know that.
Right.
White America is not surprised that when you walk into a black-owned restaurant, that people aren't just food fighting and throwing things.
Just slinging food and feces. What did he expect?
That's his little closed-off world. That's where he lives. He lives in that little entitled closed-off place, and he's surprised.
And we got to make it perfectly clear. This Sylvia's is like as commercial as it gets as far as going to a restaurant in Harlem.
It's a tourist place. Like Harlem is opened up to a lot of people as far as tourism goes. It used to be, before Giuliani, it used to be very scary to go uptown. Now, Bill Clinton's got his office up there. Right. It's a place where now tourists go. You go up there.
That's where Whitey goes to make believe he's being brave.
Yeah, there are places you don't go.
Right.
Believe me, there are places you don't go. I don't care if you're Bill O'Reilly or not. But Sylvia's, the Apollo Theater, there are places up there that are tourist attractions that people go to.
Just say there's places where gentrification has not taken effect.
Exactly. That's what I meant.
Those are the scary places, where they still have control of the streets. Wink, wink, Bill. We all know what you mean.
Yeah.
And Clinton being in Harlem has changed a lot, too, because the ex-president being up there's so many businesses and stuff have gone around just
right
there.
All right, let's get through this clip so we can move on to Oscar De La Hoya next.
Oh.
Busy day on the Opie and Anthony show.
Won't find him in Iran.
This is what white America doesn't know, particularly people who don't have a lot of interaction with black Americans.
Like yourself.
They think that the culture is dominated by Twista, Ludacris, and Snoop Dogg.
Oh, and it's just
That's
so
what you
awful.
thought, Bill.
It's just so awful because, it's literally the sewer come to the surface, and now people take it that the sewer is the whole
That's
story.
right.
Can
That's
I
right. There wasn't
point out
one
this
person
self-hating black guy who's obviously talking?
Yeah.
Any black guy that goes on O'Reilly and just harps on how it's a few bad apples that spoils the bunch.
Yeah, that's what everybody's... I'll tell you, it's great. They used utensils in the restaurant. They paid for things. That's fantastic. But occasionally just pop on YouTube and put in convenience store robbery. Hey, Bill, have a little fun with that.
Hey, are you surprised that white culture isn't dominated by like heavy metal? It's like everybody knows that Ludacris and stuff doesn't appeal to people over 40. Nobody thinks it does. You do.
You know what the opposite of this is that annoys me? It's a commercial that I don't think a lot of people see as being extremely racist, but it is. Reversed racism, they call it, but I just call it racism. Right. You ever see this commercial where it's a bunch of old white bankers, and there's one black guy who's kind of telling them what they should be doing, and they're going like, give that much interest on savings? We'd never do that. And it's all, they're in a roped-off area, and they're all old white guys. Sure. And this black guy is kind of like he knows the deal as far as what people should do as far as banking and credit cards go. And all these old white people just know the old ideology. That's the same thing as this. Like, that's the stereotypical what banks are all about and everything, and people should be amazed that it's run that way. But that's the same exact thing as Bill O'Reilly going into a bunch of black people and realizing, oh my God, they're civilized.
Yeah.
Like he's an explorer that went to Africa and found a tribe that is using the wheel. That's pretty much the way he is surprised that they are running a restaurant.
This is getting a lot of attention today.
I wonder if he lit a lighter to show them the secret of fire.
Fire. They all back away.
Surface, and now people take it that the sewer is the whole
That's
story.
right. That's right. There wasn't one person in Sylvia's who was screaming, MFer, I want more iced tea.
Please.
You know, I mean...
MFer, I want more iced tea. That'd be hysterical. Al Sharpton's just screaming, more iced tea.
That was his impression of a black restaurant. And I'm not talking about a KFC on 145th Street in the morning on a Saturday.
This is Bill O'Reilly being amazed at what he's.
This is a restaurant that he expected to go in there and see people yelling.
I bet you he brought security and all that crap.
I want more iced tea.
Right.
First of all, it would have been Kool-Aid. Let's be serious here.
I want more grape soda. Everyone knows blacks don't like iced tea, Bill. Wink, wink.
What's wrong with liking grape soda, though?
Nothing.
It's terrific.
So after the cheese doodle appetizers...
and we all know what was on the dessert menu.
That's right. We had Funyuns.
Please.
You know, I mean, everybody was... it was like going into an Italian restaurant.
What happened?
He almost said everybody was well-behaved.
Well-behaved. He came very close to saying that.
Listen, everybody was listen to me real quick.
I want more iced tea.
Please.
You know, I mean, everybody was... it was like going...
He almost said well-behaved. It sounds to me like you were going to say well-behaved.
Well-behaved. That's what I meant. Not acting like...
Please.
You know, I mean, everybody was... it was like going into an Italian restaurant in an all-white suburb, in the sense of people were sitting there and they were ordering and having fun, and there wasn't any kind of craziness at all.
Hey, where are the white women at?
There's no craziness at all.
Craziness.
People were sitting there and ordering. And did they hold the utensils with their hands, Bill? How did it happen?
I took pictures, and they didn't think I was stealing their souls. It was amazing.
I cannot comprehend how somebody is so shocked that in a black restaurant, the ordering system works the same as it does in every other restaurant.
In a white restaurant. He's out of his mind.
Such a douche.
And
he really is a douche.
This is like I said before, some of the most racist, actual racist. Yeah. See, racism on the surface, especially with comedy, it could look like it's racism to these oversensitive people that just nitpick everything, when it's just comedy based on race and racial differences and stereotypes. This is real racism you're listening to. This is a white guy who has no understanding of black people, black culture, or anything, and feels superior, and he's professing his amazement that they are acting like white people.
And he's trying to be endearing. Like, I could see if he said, I was surprised that many black people like the O'Reilly Factor. I didn't think I had that many black people.
Oh, there's not one bit of this feeling, wow, that was kind of cool that I could go in there and people knew the show. But he comes off like everybody who came in. We walked in and everybody was just amazed. They were hooting and hollering and banging in their chest.
Yeah.
Well, the guy, he's just horrid.
He expected to walk in and see like a white girl being sacrificed.
Yeah.
Like Fay Ray. Jackass.
On a spit. Kevin from Connecticut, craziness equals armed robbery.
Craziness.
And Universal Remobo. Wow, that's a weird one. Okay. Mention the Opie and Anthony show at Sylvia's and get a free glass of grape soda.
There you go.
Linger longer. Wow. There's an ass out there that hates when I say linger longer. Guess what? That means I'll say it more. All right, there's your Bill O'Reilly thing. He's a lot of heat on Bill today for being a dope. Hey, before we go to the Black Roland just did a little something on the Bill O'Reilly thing that we were talking about earlier.
Yes.
So make sure you listen to the replay if you didn't hear us talking about Bill O'Reilly putting his foot in his mouth. Going to dinner in Harlem with Reverend Al Sharpton to a black restaurant, and he was very surprised that the black restaurant pretty much ran like a white restaurant.
Like a white restaurant. Amazing.
The blogs are buzzing over Bill O'Reilly this morning. Controversial comments about African Americans made on his nationally syndicated radio program. O'Reilly was talking with NPR's Juan Williams about rap culture. CNN's American Morning talked about it with CNN contributor and radio talk show host Roland Martin.
Oh, his name's Roland, too?
But here's the deal, though. And so, okay, first of all, it's not true, all right? I mean, when you talk about Ludacris, excuse me, I believe a Stanley O'Neill who runs Merrill Lynch, I believe a Kenneth Chenault who runs American Express, and a Dick Parsons who runs Time Warner have a heck of a lot more power and influence than a Ludacris or some other rappers. So I'm not going to give some hip-hopper all that much credence. That makes no sense to me whatsoever, okay? Also, use your platform, Bill O'Reilly, to talk about those individuals as well. No, he's fixated on rappers, somehow thinking that is actually what black culture is all about. That's what doesn't make any sense to me. And what bothered me was when he says that he was surprised that there was no difference between Sylvia and someone else. Well, why would you be surprised? Have you not gone to a black restaurant before? I mean, I don't go to a Mexican restaurant and somehow think that there's a van in the back stuffed with 20 folks who just crossed the border. No, I don't operate on stereotypes. I see that as a business, and I say people have napkins and forks and knives, and they sit down and they eat. But he was surprised.
I think O'Reilly told CNN's Rick Sanchez his remarks were taken out of context. He calls it a hatchet job by the website.
Really, the kind you do? Fucking jerk off.
Oh, this guy's getting beaten savagely on television.
6 black guys beat up a white guy, and Fox says the police say the taped beating may not be racially motivated. The beating victim knew at least one of his attackers. Well, then what was... maybe it wasn't racially motivated.
Don't know.
If it was 6 white guys beating a black guy, they wouldn't say that.
Yeah, they wouldn't even bother with if he knew him, didn't know him, how many he knew.
Maybe he was just playing basketball with him. And
and
he slipped out?
And instead of saying, nice shot, he said, you know.
Yeah, that word.
Yeah.
Oh, another teacher's in trouble? Ooh.
Teens over age of consent. Ooh.
Oh, okay.
If teens over age of consent, is it right to charge
teacher? No. She should lose her job for some kind of moral issue, but she should be a 17-year-old student. How old is she?
82.
Wow, she looks really good for 82. 82. Oh, look, they got O'Reilly outrage.
Of course, CNN is all over
Oh,
this.
yeah. Run with it.
Fox isn't talking that much about it, are they?
No. How does it feel, Bill?
Yeah.
How does it feel in the hot seat, Bill? What? You were just doing your show. He was just talking. He probably didn't think it was going to do anything.
And the beauty, it's on radio.
Yep.
It was part of his radio show, you know.
Controversial comments on African Americans.
Stupid racist fuck. Getting what you deserve.
Yep.
Good.
It's just going to give him good ratings. He's psyched.
Can't
there
believe
wasn't
there's
any
no craziness.
kind of craziness at all. Craziness.
We'll see what happens.
You so crazy.
It's like, why don't you just be amazed that black people are actually walking erect? Why don't you be amazed at that they sleep indoors, too, Bill?
Amazing.
Fucking snot. Bill O'Reilly is a fucking pompous snot. And boy, did that story about fucking him and the loofah sponge.
Oh, the loofah sponge sex call girl.
I'd love to be interviewed by him, and the minute he got snippy, why did that go away? How much money did you pay?
You know what? He'd be like, all right, we're through here.
Are
Unless
we?
you want to stick to the issues, we're through
How much money
here.
did you pay, scumbag? Can't say scumbag on terrestrial radio because this is their reasoning. A scumbag is a juiced condom. Who fucking calls a condom a scumbag?
No one ever, not since 1950.
A scumbag is the girl you're fucking with it on.
That's what I say.
Yeah.
That's what I say today.
You say that.
Susan Waldman talks like she has a mouth full of spit all the time.
Oh, yeah,
Sounds
she's
like
got
one
a
of those spittly people.
spittle.
Spitally.
Sorry, little spittle.
All right. Another update, another story we did yesterday, the Bill O'Reilly thing. He's just delusional.
He's just a dope.
He really is just a dope.
And when you see the difference with the way like Sharpton addresses what he did and the way he addresses other racial things, it's kind of funny.
We honed it down to the thing O'Reilly said, and then the latest on him.
Yeah.
Okay, if that makes sense. He went up to Harlem to a black restaurant, Sylvia's, with Reverend Al Sharpton. This is what he had to say about his experience, just to get everyone up to speed.
You know, I was up in Harlem a few weeks ago, and I actually had dinner with Al Sharpton, who is a very, very interesting guy. And he comes on a Factor a lot, and then I treated him to dinner. All people up there tremendously respectful. They all watch the Factor, and I couldn't get over the fact that there was no difference between Sylvia's restaurant and any other restaurant in New York City. I mean, it was exactly the same, even though it's run by blacks, primarily black patronship. It was the same. And that's really what the society is all about now here in the USA. There's no difference. There's no difference.
Okay?
What a dope. And
that was actually his reasonable part of the conversation.
Yeah.
He said he was saying things for white people to show white people that racism is like stereotypes are wrong, but you're the one who was amazed, dumbo.
Yeah.
He was the one that was amazed.
There was nothing but amazement in his voice.
You're almost 60 and you had an epiphany that black and white restaurants are similar?
If he was explaining to like people that were ignorant of the situation, that didn't understand it, that's one thing. If he was explaining to the people that were amazed. But he was the guy that was amazed. Oh, my God, they're using utensils. This is fascinating.
Then he continued.
It's just so awful because, I mean, it's literally the sewer come to the surface, and now people take it that the sewer is the whole
That's
story.
right. That's right. There wasn't one person in Sylvia's who was screaming, MFer, I want more iced tea.
That disappoints me. Because I would like to see that.
Yeah, it would make your restaurant experience a little exciting.
MFer, I want more iced tea.
MFer.
Like, what an out-of-touch guy talking to whitest black guy ever on the phone.
Yeah.
And Bill, the other people in my race are just embarrassing. Yes, they are. Yes. Stupid.
Oh, what an idiot.
By the way, we love the listeners of this radio show because they're very interactive and they contribute more to this show than any other radio show in America. And someone is suggesting a new contest for the listeners because they like bragging rights. They like to create things themselves.
Yeah.
A lot of people have their Macs and need to create.
Yep.
And they want. Someone is suggesting we take the Iron Chic audio.
Iron Chic.
Maybe we could put all those IDs up on the website so they could grab that and then make it sound like he's talking about homosexuality or... Wait. Let me get this exactly right. New contest. Take the Iron Chic piece, doctor it up so he is saying he likes homos.
That's a little rough, but he does say pleasure for me.
Pleasure for me, and but maybe you could add some other clips.
Mm-hmm.
We got some very talented listeners. We'll see if they run with that.
Good luck to you.
Some of these things they never run with, and that's fine, too. All right. So O'Reilly responded on his show last night about all the controversy.
On the Factor?
On the Factor.
Ugh.
You know, the spin stops here.
The no spin zone.
Bill O'Reilly is a cornball.
Oh, isn't he?
Yeah, he really is.
The no spin zone.
So phony.
That guy spins more than a freaking tornado in Kansas.
Yeah. He spins everything. Watch him spin this.
Yeah.
He's in the no spin zone spinning what he said.
I'm amazed that he's got a huge viewership, and his whole slug line is that there's no spin on his show.
No spin.
When the whole time, all he does is spin.
Spin everything to his opinion and his ideology.
He spins so much. You know those old YouTube videos where Bono's going around in a circle as he's singing?
Yeah.
That's the camera they should be using on the Factor. That's how much spinning he does.
Did anyone ever see a Bill O'Reilly? Bill O'Reilly. It's the finger of God.
Bill, his name should be Bill the Oscillator O'Reilly. He is a spinning zilch. I'm like 6'8", well endowed. God bless him.
I watched this crap. I go, how is he getting away with the fact that he's saying that there's no spin here?
No spin zone.
He spins more than anyone else.
CNN goes over to the dark side. That is the subject of this evening's Talking Points memo. Every weekday we do 3 hours of commentary, 2 on the radio, 1 on TV, and every day the far-left smear website Media Matters takes that commentary out of context and feeds the defamation out to the public. Media Matters, which acts in concert with the now notorious Move On, has labeled me anti-black, anti-Hispanic, homophobic, and anti-Semitic. I'm sure I'll be a member of the Manson family.
Annoyed that they left something out? Is that it?
Member of the Manson family shortly. Of course, this is all nonsense, and we usually ignore it until it is picked up by the so-called mainstream media. Elements at NBC News have made a living parroting Media Matters garbage, and now, sadly, CNN has jumped into the swamp. Recently on the Radio Factor, I did an hour on how racism is dumb, how it is driven by fear. And I even used my own late grandmother as an example.
What? Wait, hold on. His late grandmother apparently only enjoyed being double teamed by blacks. And he raised that as an example because occasionally whites would try to sneak into the Bill O'Reilly grandmother double team.
Yeah.
And she wouldn't have it. The darker the berry, the sweeter the jewel. The old Riley grandmother. She couldn't get enough.
I even brought her into the mix. Did you?
Hey, Bill from Waterford, who's celebrating a birthday today. There's no more spinning on Bill O'Reilly's show than homosexual activity in Iranian rest areas.
Exactly.
Thank you, Bill.
Rest areas there.
And happy 29th birthday to you, faithful listener of the show.
Mother as an example. It's very interesting discussion, and we didn't hear one complaint about the program that ran on more than 400 radio stations.
Damn.
Yeah, welcome to the club is right. Man, bravo on that.
I don't know what you mean.
He's basically saying he said this crap on his radio show, 400 stations, not a complaint, and that's usually what happens with radio shows.
Exactly.
It's not the people listening to the radio show that starts the complaining. It's someone that doesn't listen to the show.
Never heard it. See, this guy, what an idiot. And he's the first one to condemn, like, what we do. And, stop.
I want to hear more about the old slut.
Yeah.
No kidding, man.
Bring on that old bag.
The old shish kebab grandma. Ain't black, it don't walk through my front door. That's what Grandma O'Reilly used to be fond of saying.
I did all the Tuskegee Airmen. They treated me like a hanger.
One in one hand, one in the other. Oh, I'm 5 fellas at one time I can take care of. 7 if you count me ears.
She'd like to play World War II fighter pilot.
The O'Reilly grandmother. Oh, she could service a group.
Bert in Philly writes, all the way May and Granny O'Reilly worked near the apple orchards together.
She loved them sweaty when they'd come in from working all day. They may not treat you equal, but I will. Oh, look at my grandson peeking in through the door. He's 6'8" and he's only 3.
How did he bring her up? I wonder what he said about his old granny.
Oh, boy. K-Rock dumped your joke. Which joke did they dump?
What, everything?
Who knows?
Why would they dump it?
Because they're just a bunch of dopes.
And just real quick, Sharpton.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Sharpton said he and O'Reilly have eaten together in Harlem before and was surprised at the radio comments. I understand he says he's been taken out of context. I'll be going on his show, and I want to talk directly to him. Yeah, that's what Sharpton says about that.
Yeah. That's
all right.
These two are what they call a-hole buddies. Believe me.
I thought you were going to go in cahoots.
They love the publicity. They're both from the same mold, man. They love the fact that they are famous. Mm-hmm. They like the money that goes along with it, all that stuff. And they're hooked up. They're supposedly polar opposites in their views, but they go out, eat, probably laugh. Look at what we're doing. This is great. Now you come on my show, and we'll get into it a little bit.
Mm-hmm. After the break, we got more O'Reilly trying to defend himself. And Scott M. from Hop Hog writes, this guy's such a phony that I might throw up if I have to listen to his crap anymore. Bring on Brittany Got Fat. You will hear Brittany Got Fat.
Oh, yeah.
As part of the morning show bit of the day Wednesday.
I have to know if they dumped.
Oh, the double team thing. That's good.
Really?
Why would you dump that, dude?
That's good.
Which one?
That's not...
Yeah, you tell him, Jimmy.
Dude, it's just...
It is.
What's the matter with you?
What?
Why would you dump that?
Well, now let's go in there and show him what it means. That's what I say.
It's Opie and Anthony. Hey, good morning. Opie and Anthony, Jim Norton, the Opie and Anthony Show. Our phone number, 877-212-ONA. Nikki Sixx coming in today, by the way. Very cool. He's a really good guest. We've had him on over the years.
A real rock star, bassist from Motley Crue.
You know what? We should talk to him about that. He is a real rock star. He's not a poser.
No, he's an animal.
There's been so many posers in the last 10 years, making believe they're rock stars. He is the real deal. Also, Howie Mandel calling in again today. They got a big thing happening with Deal or No Deal tonight he wants to talk about. So
I'm obsessed with that stupid toilet he talked about. I have to get
right?
Yeah.
The way the bidet works in that toilet, by the way, it's like you're like, well, how does he have 2-in-1? Because you wouldn't be able to use it after you use the bathroom. But the bidet thing comes out. So after you flush, apparently the bidet thing comes out and it acts as a bidet, so you're not getting it all soiled.
Yeah, and then it goes back into its little bidet holder place.
Like a little straw or whatever that shoots water. I have to get that toilet now.
The toilet's
like a great toilet.
What, $2,000-$3,000 or something like that?
I haven't priced it, but I want it for the living room.
You don't
annoy my girlfriend.
You don't
make eye contact with her the whole time.
You don't touch anything.
Right.
It knows you're coming, so the lid comes up, and no flushing, nothing. It just knows what to do for whatever reason. It's Whip 'em Out Wednesday, of course. That's one of the staples of the Opie and Anthony Show. We're looking for the women out there to, do a little flashing if they see those WOW stickers on the highways. Those are fans of the show. They got the WOW bumper stickers. Most of the radio stations that we're on, they're very motivated about the radio show, and they got WOW stickers out there. If the station you're listening on is not motivated, then you take it upon yourself to make a homemade WOW sign that shows support for the radio show, and also it might get you a little boobage in the morning as you're driving to work. There are plenty of women out there that will flash you. At ONA events, it happens all day long. Right?
Love it.
And, of course, we got the Pal Talk happening, and the girls in Pal Talk, they're wowing like crazy every Wednesday. So you might want to look into getting Pal Talk. I don't know. If you want to see topless women in the morning. Also, our new bit, Wake Up Your Spouse Wednesday, is a huge hit.
What a big hit that is.
Did you expect everyone waiting for us this morning to do it?
No. I really didn't.
We throw a lot of these.
There they were.
We do throw a lot of these themes out there. It's just
they're stupid.
They're stupid.
I'll be honest with you. They're stupid. But I guess if you throw enough out there, one or two might actually work.
Yeah.
And this one is a dandy.
And a lot of the listeners like the stupid ones too, because it's just that stupid. It just creates stupid talk. Tim, with the official promo for Wake Up Your Spouse Wednesday.
Official.
It's Wake Up Your Roommate Wednesday.
Wake Up Your Spouse Wednesday.
It's Wake Up Your Roommate Wednesday. On Opie and Anthony.
All right, I'm gonna freaking kill you.
There you go. You know what? That's all from today.
Yep. That's great.
We had a very busy morning when we got here at 6 a.m. Tim's got to redo this, though. It's Wake Up Your Spouse.
Yeah.
Wake Up Your Spouse Wednesday, not Wake Up Your Roommate.
Well, Tim's defense will be that there are plenty of roommates
that are doing it, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Wake Up Your Wake up your whatever.
Wake up. Just leave it.
Yeah, wake
That's
up
fine.
something.
Why does it need a real full name?
And here's the replay from this morning. This was the faithful listeners hate when I say this, but I'm going to say it today. This is the big get today.
Oh.
Someone waking up their spouse with dynamite. This is how it went down about an hour ago. Jerry, you got a stick of dynamite?
Quarter stick.
Oh, quarter stick. Okay. And you want to wake her up with that. How are you going to do it? Where are you going to put it?
Inside a pot, so she doesn't get hurt, but it'll be loud.
And how close are you going to put it to her?
Right next to her on the bed.
No, I wouldn't put it. I wouldn't put it right next to her. Put it on the floor.
All right.
But away from her, like across the room.
Yeah.
All right, well, get the phone close to her, all right? The key to Wake Up Your Spouse Wednesday, we need to hear the waking up part. All right. Jerry, the show is yours. Go ahead.
What is that? Oh, my God!
That is going to be really hard to top.
Yeah.
She saw it light and she thought it was something romantic. She
Yeah.
She thought it was a candle.
Yeah. What is that?
Wow, that is awesome. Now, for next week, we're looking for, how about next week we look more for creativity?
Yeah.
A little creativity next week, because this is getting a little dangerous now. We're only 2 weeks in, and we're using dynamite to wake up people.
Dynamite!
Don't we learn from the past with this radio show?
Some suggestions, perhaps a super soaker to the face.
Oh, beautiful.
That would be really good.
Beautiful. Let's get creative next week.
Mm-hmm.
Let's try for creativity next week.
Yeah.
Stay away from the dynamite for a week or two, okay?
Something scary. How about a real scary... Halloween's coming up. How about a real scary mask? Put some newspaper in it to fill it out and lay it down so it's looking right at the person's face, like 1 inch away.
Yeah.
And then just go like, wake up, wake up. And when they open their eyes, just a horrified scream is what you'll get. I think that's a good idea, too. Because that would just... I hate opening my eyes to somebody like right there. Like if I'm sleeping in on the rare occasion I get to sleep in and my girlfriend's got to leave, she'll like want to kiss me goodbye, so she comes up and wakes me up, and she knows she can't like be right near my face or I just lose my mind. I think it's somebody coming to kill me.
Don't make me tell the Buffalo story for the 20th time.
20th time. No.
Why'd you even have to say that? Bringing back that freaking nightmare
It's just
again.
scary when someone's really close to your face and you wake up.
If you don't have a Halloween mask, you could also use a ski mask because
Yeah.
that implies robbery.
Let's stay away from the ski masks.
Wake up.
Yeah, and you see a ski mask. That's great.
All right, back to Bill O'Reilly. So
O'Reilly.
He was trying to defend himself yesterday. I hope you were lingering longer because we can't replay all the clips we just did. But he's the big setup, Ant, real fast, 10 seconds, 15 seconds.
Bill O'Reilly went up to Harlem and was amazed and surprised that the blacks acted like whites in restaurants. And now he's catching some heat for it, so he went on his show with the No Spin Zone on Fox and tried to explain himself by spinning.
Right, spinning what he was saying.
Pretty much what he did. He spun.
What an idiot.
Well, yesterday, Media Matters distorted the entire conversation and implied I was racist for condemning racism. Stunningly, CNN echoed the defamation on at least 3 of its programs. The reason CNN did this is because its ratings are abysmal. It is getting hammered by Fox News, so they're desperate for attention, and smearing me is one way to get it. Unfortunately, many in CNN's audience have no idea what I said, and some believe the garbage they are hearing. Now, I talked to CNN last night before that program. It was obvious they didn't listen to the radio factor, so I explained the deal. They went ahead with the racist angle anyway. This is dishonest and dangerous. If a slime machine like Media Matters can get its far-left propaganda on CNN and NBC News, the nation is in trouble.
He didn't address it. He didn't address.
He's going to attempt to
is he?
address it with this next clip, and then he kind of...
All right.
He kind of reiterates everyone's problem with what he had to say.
Well, I'd love to know if Fox went after Wolf Blitzer for saying so poor, so black. Like, they're all going after each other because they're competing. It's like, no honesty.
No.
It's like they're competing for ratings.
Yeah, that's why it's not news. It's TV shows. It's entertainment.
Thank you. They're a bunch of phonies. I was reading a really good blog by Lee Abrams.
A blog
that works for XM, and he talks about how these news organizations like CNN and Fox and stuff, they're entertainment programs, and they blur it. You think you're actually watching news. You're not watching news anymore.
Nope.
You're not. And then he mentions us. Like, when you listen to the Opie and Anthony show, you know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
A lot of sarcasm and a lot of, we are what we are. We're not trying to be anything else but Opie and Anthony.
Yeah.
We're just douches that just point out a lot of this crap and make fun of a lot of people, right?
Yep.
But the news, under the guise they're doing a news program, they're not doing a news program. It's entertainment.
No, they use the backdrop of news to then comment and titillate and
it's a blur. They're blurring it. You think you're watching news, but you're really, really not.
Really not.
And Lee Abrams, by the way, people who don't know, he works for XM, and he's at the forefront of the medicinal marijuana for pilots organization. He believes that smoking pot when you fly is good for everyone. And he flies upside down, and he has a big, creepy mustache. Very homoerotic mustache.
We're satirists. When you listen to us, we're satirists.
Satirists.
Right?
That's
what you get
so.
from us. Satire.
Satire.
We're not trying to be anything but what we are. All right, here's Bill O'Reilly just kind of, I don't know.
Spinning.
And to set up your appearance, I told people about my grandmother and how she feared blacks, even though she didn't know any blacks.
Now, Jimmy, she feared blacks.
Even though she didn't know any blacks.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
Oh, wow.
So that was the story of his granny.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that was a cover. I think what happened was he came home. A young Bill came home one day and said, Nana, and heard like,
Nana.
And looked in the bedroom door, and there was Nana. And there was two gentlemen standing, and it looked like Nana's in a hammock. She was swinging back and forth. And she had to say, oh, hell, call the police, young Bill. Because she didn't want young Bill to understand.
Yes. Yeah. And then she went on to talk about how she was afraid.
And how you can't tell Grandpa.
Right.
What you saw.
And then I proceeded to tell the audience how ridiculous the fear was by recounting a story about me going to Sylvia's restaurant in Harlem with Al Sharpton. Now, you heard the comments. You saw everything. What do you think about this dishonesty at CNN?
It's rank dishonesty, and the troubling thing is that if I hadn't participated in the discussion, if I was just tuning in to CNN or listening to MSNBC and heard that, oh, Bill O'Reilly said he went to Sylvia's restaurant in Harlem and they weren't using MF and all this kind of stuff, I'd say, oh, my God, what is he thinking? Where's that coming from? Why did he say something like that? Not understanding that discussion, Bill O'Reilly, I'm telling you, it's so frustrating. They want to shut you up. They want to shut up anybody who has an honest discussion about race. You mentioned your grandmother. You mentioned the idea that, your grandmother...
Oh, Rochester.
She watches TV. She
Where did they get this guy from? UncleTom.com?
And you had to say to her grandma,
white people like you.
You don't understand. I mean, what are you going to say about Nat King Cole? What are you going to say about people like Willie Mays? What are you going to say about people that you admire? And now they take this discussion and somehow turn it on its head. I really appalled.
Are you?
Yeah.
And the problem was O'Reilly came off and said, I used my grandmother, like how wrong Grandma was to be afraid.
Right.
And yet you, Bill, said, and I was amazed, that it was just like you, at your age, just admitted you were amazed that Sylvia's was the same as any other restaurant.
He was amazed.
So you've learned nothing from Nana. You've learned nothing from Nana.
Nana. Nana, what are you doing in there with those men?
Yeah.
Oh,
Nana,
don't worry.
Are you playing the harmonica?
You know what? This just gives Bill O'Reilly ratings. That's what it comes down to.
He loves it.
No real problem here whatsoever.
He loves it.
Of course he loves it. Notice he doesn't mention MSNBC. He's got a huge battle going with Keith Olbermann, another guy he says some interesting things on his show, but he's a dishonest ass.
He's a phony.
He's a phony. But Bill O'Reilly and Keith Olbermann are just fighting for every ratings point they can. Notice Bill doesn't mention that. He mentions CNN. Mm-hmm. But MSNBC was all over it. I think Keith Olbermann started this whole problem for Bill O'Reilly.
Did he?
So why not go after Keith Olbermann, you dishonest F?
He loves it. When he's in the news like that.
Of course he does.
It's his job. It's get into the news. He doesn't report the news or anything. He wants to get into the news. It's a show. It's not news. Bill O'Reilly is on Fox News, but it's not news.
No.
It's a TV
sort of
show.
News. It's
sort
sort
of
of
entertainment show that uses the news as like a backdrop. Uses current events as a backdrop for him to throw in his opinions and everything. He calls it the no spin zone because he thinks people are going to believe that he's just reporting the news. No. He's talking about the news and putting his own spin on it. His opinion of it and anyone else's opinion isn't valid. It's garbage. It's not the real opinion to have.
I'm so glad we're finally talking about this because I've been amazed for so many years. I'm like, Bill O'Reilly is calling a show the No Spin Zone? But it's got to be the worst name for a TV news program ever.
He's got the last word.
Spin.
And he says it's his show, so whatever he says goes. He's spinning it his way.
And the only problem with that is like the news gets such a special set of rules for them. Like, if you're going to be a show like that, it's cool, but you should not be allowed the leeway that typically news is allowed.
Right, yeah.
Because you have a tremendous advantage over other entertainment programs when you're kind of just doing, it's not right for them to have that kind of news umbrella they can hide under.
It is amazing how many people buy into it, though, that it's news. They put it on and go, did you hear that on the news? Mm-hmm. And then, people that have been involved directly with the news because you've been reported on in the past, you got to tell them, like, no, it doesn't work that way. That isn't real.
I like shows, especially like news shows and stuff, that aren't blurring what they are.
Yeah.
I like the word blur. Like Lee Abrams used it in his blog, and I really like that.
Because it's what he sees out of the windshield of his plane.
Right.
He's a drug addict.
Just a blur.
But he makes a good point. It's like Fox News is blurring what they are. They're making believe they're a news program. They're not really a news program, okay? I'm loving the show TMZ. Loving it. And I'll tell you what, we're trying to get the guy on the show, but he's blown up to this. He's a huge star now, the guy that runs TMZ.
Yeah.
But TMZ is not blurring what they are. It's a show where it's all about Hollywood gossip, but they're not making it all cutesy and stuff. They're like, look, Hollywood, they're just a bunch of asses, and we're going to show them driving drunk. We're going to show them coming out of clubs drunk.
We're going to
show them doing stupid stuff, and we're not going to like go, oh, well, this was unfortunate. We're going to be like, look, they're idiots.
Look at this jerk.
They're just a bunch of dopes. And a show that's very similar to TMZ's like The Insider and Entertainment Tonight, but they kind of blur what they are. They know people want to see celebrities in weird situations, but they don't have the balls to say, look at these idiots being idiots.
They'll show them as idiots and then go, tragic.
Right.
How that career has turned out, and then someone of the co-hosts will be, yeah, tragic.
Right.
And now let's talk about
right. Happy birthday to Like they're trying to be with those people. They're trying to be, you know what I mean? They want to be part of that situation. So they don't want to go too far with it. But TMZ, they're like, oh, we got paparazzi video all over the place, and it's all these people you watch on TV and in the movies being just idiots.
Yep.
And we're just gonna acknowledge it up front. We are showing you people, big stars being idiots, and that's why I like TMZ.
Yeah.
They're not blurring what they are.
That's it.
They don't give a crap if they're not invited to the next Hollywood party because of what they're doing with their show.
Like Bill O'Reilly.
I respect that. I think that's cool as hell.
No spin.
Speaking of Wake Up Your Spouse, Internet Video of the Day is